the whole thing is being a translator speaking in your language. It said 23 for some reason.
Is it still recording?
I have to do this a third time. Fight through the Friday fog that I have. I don't know if you have it, but
It's a everyday
right.
kind of. It's not exclusive to Friday.
Yeah.
Welcome to Bedroom Studios Podcast, the podcast where we talk about what goes on behind the scenes in a musician's world and bridge the industry gap by sharing their stories, expertise, and advice to early career artists. Join us for a fun chat about life as a creative person, tips and tricks for pursuing an artistic career, navigating the music industry, and more. My name's Della Rossa. I'm a songwriter based in Toronto, and today I'm interviewing Luke Fair. Yes, we did it.
We did it.
Yeah.
Again.
It's always such a big accomplishment when I read the intro. That's the hardest part.
Yeah. You start with a win.
Yeah, exactly. You are here again.
I'm here again.
No one knows that, though.
Because they know now.
They know now.
We're saying it.
We didn't get video the first time you were here.
Yes.
And we had such a fun time that we decided to do it again.
Yeah.
With video.
With video.
Yeah, and now we have a backup camera.
Not to say that we did it on purpose without video and then we decided later. We talked the entire time about how it was great that the season has video while the video was not recording.
I need to do an audio compilation of all of the times I talked about how excited.
Hey, we have video with no video.
Yeah. But now we have video. Like I said, we have a backup camera, so we will.
We 100% have video.
Something will really have to go wrong for us to not have video for this episode.
And the way today's going, possible.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. But hey, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Yeah, okay, so we should probably talk about something.
Yes.
I would like you to reintroduce yourself, but I guess
for the first time.
For the first time that people are hearing it here on the podcast. Introduce yourself. What do you do? Who is Luke? Go ahead.
Hello. I am Luke Fair. I am a mix engineer primarily, do a little bit of producing. So I like to make music. I like to help artists make their music. I'm doing that now under a name called Rosetta Sound, which you can ask me again why, and I'll explain it again.
I don't think I asked you the first time.
No, it was off of the podcast.
Yeah, I asked you. When you said it in the podcast, I smiled and nodded as if I knew what a Rosetta was.
Yes.
And then I asked you about it later.
Yeah, I'll just say it right now.
Yeah.
My favorite part of my job has always been like learning the artist and how they speak and how they think and trying to make my ears into their ears so I can make your ideas and your intentions for your song actually come through in the sound of it. So the way I see that is being a translator. And the like nice little tagline is that I am doing this to be like the bridge between what you hear in your head and what's going to come out of the speakers. Mm-hmm. So on that translating theme comes like Rosetta Stone and Rosetta Sound.
Very cool.
Yeah, and now that I get to like sort of rebrand going into the new year very individually, specifically for myself, and that's always been my hard focus, it's now going to be like explicitly just out there and communicated in everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna raise my seat.
Yeah. Last time we were swapped.
Yeah.
And I was on the short one, which actually made us the same height.
Yeah. But now we're good. Now we're the same height.
We are.
Yeah, I just grew a couple of inches.
I'll slouch. I'll slouch the whole episode.
I'm also going to slouch because I can't sit any other way. I just realized my chair was just so much shorter than yours, and I was just like looking up. Okay, so the first time we recorded this episode, I did ask you this question, but I would like to ask it again because I think it's important. I would love for you to describe like what your definition of mixing is and what your definition of mastering is. Because when I started getting into production, a big mental barrier for me was also not knowing a lot about mixing, and in my head, it was like both processes were kind of like, it was kind of like one thing in my head. And there is some overlap, but I was like, I felt like I couldn't be a producer because I didn't know all of the mixing things. And that's not true.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So it was, the way I described it is just about separating concerns. So production, in terms of sound and like actually dealing with instruments, because production, you're also thinking a lot about the songwriting, but also we should be through every process thinking about the song. But let's say production, we are worried about individual instruments and the sound of that one instrument and the character of it. And is it by itself feeling right for the song or saying the right thing? When we get to mixing, we are now specifically thinking about how each instrument is relating to each other. So we're not as much focused on this one thing in solo, what does it feel like? But in the whole mix, how does this relate to this? And when I do something to this thing, how does it make this thing feel different without even touching this thing? So it's about actually, in production, you're gathering ingredients. In mixing, we're actually like baking the cake.
Or we're mixing it. So
we're making soup, as you did earlier today. We are actually putting all the stuff
together
in the pot, and we're turning on the burner, and we're actually like making it into soup. So yeah, if we keep going with that, production, you're worried about like, am I cutting the onions right? In mixing, onions are already cut, but now how much do I put in so that the actual soup tastes right? And no one's going to think about onions when they're eating the soup. They're going to think about the soup. So no one is thinking about that one guitar when they're listening to the song. They think they're listening to the whole song.
Yeah.
And they're trying to feel the thing. They're trying to get into the story. They're trying to focus on the important things. So yeah, we're worried about that. And then mastering, I don't think we can keep going with the food thing, because then what do you do to soup after it's already made to be soup?
You eat it.
You do a last little check to make sure there's enough salt. And if there's not, you do a little extra pinch of salt. That could be mastering.
There we go.
Mastering, you're now no longer have control over individual things. You only have the one file that is the whole song, the mixed song. And then you're just hearing that and giving a final quality check. You're thinking about, this feels right on this listening system. Is that going to come across on the worst earbuds possible and on someone's crazy car system? And then you're just making sure that can work. Yeah.
Cool.
You're taking the family soup recipe and you're thinking, okay, is this going to travel well? Is this going to be able to be shipped and frozen and put in the grocery store? This analogy is going too far.
Now I'm just thinking about soup.
But yeah, so production, individual things, mixing, the thing as a whole, how they relate, mastering, only the thing as a whole, just as one thing now.
Yeah. Nice.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's I think it's good to have like think of those things as separate processes. So when you're learning new things, it could get overwhelming if you're like, I have to do all of these things, and or I'm like, I have this little idea and I only know how to plug in my guitar and that's it. And then how am I gonna get to this like finished song?
Yeah.
It's like you got to take it step by step.
Yeah, and once you start to get more comfortable with knowing the different steps, it does benefit you to know some about the next step after what you're working on right now, or the next person to work on the song after your step. Not that you have to think about that actively, but once you start to learn, it actually, the way that it's worked for me and other people that I've talked to about this and worked with, you learn about other people's jobs and how to do your thing better because it makes less problems for them. When you actually are forced to just do their thing once or twice and then realize how hard you've been making it on that process when you have to do it yourself. Like when as I learned how to like master my own mixes, I then was motivated to make the mastering process easier or more doable or better, which made me get better at mixing. Because you see the problems you create, or you see what you could be doing better when you like have to do another thing to it afterwards.
Yeah.
And if you're hiring someone to do that every time, then you get to be like, oh great, I learned how to make their job easier on them. But yeah, that comes when it's unfortunate that when you start, you feel like you have to do everything. But if you enjoy it and you feel like you're learning and it's positive, then it's great that it's so easy to like learn a bit of all of it.
Yeah.
But it definitely shouldn't be required, and it shouldn't feel required.
Yeah, and I think like, I don't know, like when I'm producing, I'll add my, like I'll have my reverb buses, and I'll do a little bit of a rough mix so that I'm not just listening to 20 tracks of dry vocals. And that's been cool, and I find it's been fun whenever I work with somebody, or like if I'm co-producing or having someone produce my stuff, having someone mix my stuff. I find I learn so much, and just by listening to what they're doing to my song, because I don't know, when you're making your own song, you're so intimately familiar with every single thing that's happening. And like you're familiar with all of the individual, like every individual track, every individual part. And then when it goes into the mix stage, like some things are brought out and some things are ducked, and you can kind of see like through that. It's different than just listening to like something off of a streaming service,
right.
You know, like it's when it's your own
because you can
thing,
hear the changes.
Yeah.
Like no one else's song do you hear.
Yeah.
Through all the revisions, which I also like to bring up every once in a while, because it can go the other way when people can hear the difference when they were used to the last version and now they're going to hear the new one or whatever, and they're like focusing on how it changed instead of just what it is now. I have to remind people, like, no one's going to hear any other version except for the last one. And they're going to accept everything that's there as purposeful, and you release that and it was done. So I go in listening to something thinking everything I hear was deemed to be perfect and was on purpose, and no one ever is going to assume there was a mistake.
Yeah.
But when you're listening to your thing and you've heard all the way through, you can tell what
you get attached.
But you can tell what you're not happy with and what's a mistake, and how this changed to that, and like no one else is ever gonna even think of that. It's not gonna cross their mind. Wait, so it's interesting that you learn when other people are working on your stuff. Do you just like passively learn by hearing what they do and not why they do it or them talking about it or anything? Or do you ever like if you're in the room with a producer and they're doing something or putting an instrument on or have an idea, do you want to know like why did you have that idea and why is that your instinct? And
I find it doesn't even occur to me to ask that sometimes, the reasoning why. But like definitely I learn so much by hearing. Even like the way, like the way we were recording and tracking everything, the vocal was a lot brighter than how, like, what it sounds like when I'm recording on my mic at home. So it was like, it's a good kind of North Star for, like, because the vocal sounds great. Like, the mic was great. Like, the way we recorded was, like, I really liked how it sounded. And so I was like, okay, like, maybe I'll, like, add a little bit more air to my
it's just like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah, it's like, you don't know what it's, like, supposed to sound like. Not that it's supposed to sound like anything, but it's cool to hear your voice recorded in different ways, and then you can see different possibilities.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're learning from the outcome, which is cool. Like, both ways is cool, because a lot of the times, like, the reason someone's doing something or the way they do it isn't going to connect with you anyways. And so a lot of the times, like, you just have to learn what the outcome can be, and then you get there in your own way, in the way that makes sense to you.
This project was a little bit different because I was bringing, like, pretty much finished songs to the sessions. So there wasn't, like, they were giving creative input when it was needed and when they had ideas, but we were mostly tracking. But another song I did a couple of years ago, I remember listening to it, and because, like, the way we did that was I sent, like, a scratch demo, like piano and vocals, and, like, any harmony ideas I had, I recorded them in. And then he sent me a production demo, rough, but most of the arrangement things were there. And I remember listening to it and hearing how he played the guitar, and that, like, informed things for me in the future, just seeing how, like, guitar could fit in a song. So
yeah, I like that.
The
just, like,
listening for me is big. The listening.
Yeah.
It's like seeing what's possible.
Yes. Finding possibilities that you didn't know were there, and, like, having references for, like, I wouldn't have thought to do this until I heard it, and now I can think to, like, go for that.
Yeah. That's why, like, making covers for me is, like, that's how I think I said this on my Instagram story once. Like, I learned production by making covers, and I apply what I've learned when I produce my own.
Because you can just explore what they did.
Yeah.
So you can just, like, learn the possibility. That's why I think, like, in, like, jazz, there's a whole thing about transcribing solos.
Oh yeah.
That's, I guess, the same thing. It's like, what exactly did they do? So I can just learn, like, what's possible. On the flip side, I also like learning from people if they're going really into, like, their motivations and why do they do things and what are they thinking of, even if I don't even want to take the exact outcome. It's like, I'm going to do something else. It doesn't even sound anything like what you did. But I like how you were thinking about it and, like, what your approach was mentally. And so I think learning both ways is very cool.
Oh yeah. Especially when we were tracking the vocals, I feel like I was getting a lot of that kind of, like, that was where they were giving their input, not necessarily for the arrangement of the songs, but for the, like, how are we telling the story in the performance of it.
Just to get you in the right place.
That was so cool.
To, like, give your best performance and pull that out of you.
Yeah, and it's funny because what ended up being the best performance was not what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I wanted it to, like, subconsciously, whenever I sing and I'm recording myself, I want it to be pretty. You know, I want it to be pretty. I don't want to make mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't want my voice to break in weird places. And that's not what ended up telling the story.
Yeah, not every song is pretty.
Yeah.
And you don't want to hear every story from a pretty person or like perfect person, because there's a lot of things you could be saying that's gonna sound condescending from, like, but you're presenting it in, like, I'm perfect kind of way, but then you're trying to tell me something that I'm supposed to relate to. So you need like vulnerabilities. You need
and when I was trying to sing it pretty or sing it good, it just sounded like good. I was
subjectively good.
It sounded like I was like reciting something and you know, like it didn't sound like
you're thinking about
it sounded
singing
like I didn't mean it.
instead of just like thinking about the words you're saying.
Yeah.
Just thinking about singing.
Yeah, I had to go there emotionally for every time, and it was so hard, and I didn't like it. There was like a lot of the vocals where I was like, I don't like this because I sounded like I was saying something real.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
now
were
I like
actually
it.
feeling it yourself, and that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
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 That's so important that I find is hard. That's why like singers are amazing, is because they're so good at singing that they can just forget about that.
Yeah.
And they don't have to think about singing well because they just do automatically. And so they're always performing the story and the words and whatever. Which I can't do yet for me. I'm not a singer. So if I'm singing, I'm always like thinking about singing well. But that's why also it's nice to be able to have the tools to just tune it or whatever. Because if I need to try to do something, it tends to be better if I don't think I need to get a good singing performance without any tuning or anything. It's like, well, it's just, I'm going to fix it to whatever it needs to be, but let me just perform the words. And if that means I have to tune more, whatever, because the actual performance and the feeling is behind it. And that's how you should treat anything, comping different takes and all of that, is like, just pick the right performance that you feel. And then if something needs to be tuned, you tune it.
Yeah.
But you can't we don't have to let an amazing performance that has so much emotion in it be lost because it's like, oh, you didn't hit the note right and it's going to distract me from this. No. First of all, it probably won't distract you. Second of all, we can fix it now and then use the like most emotional take.
Yeah.
And not think about like, well, is it technically good? Because who cares? Same thing as what you just showed me before this is like recording things. If there's a puff into the mic or a sound in the background or something, whatever, you can get rid of that too. Because the most important thing is like the performance that you can't recreate.
I remember when I was in school, when I was getting feedback on something I'd recorded, and he was like showing me, like he was tuning it for me, but like explaining what he was doing and why. The way I sing, like sometimes I'll like trail, like if I'm holding a note, I'll like kind of trail off a little bit. And he was actually, and like I'll go like I'll finish it like a little bit sharp or something. So he was actually moving it so that it was more sharp than how I sang it. Because it would be more emotional if it went even further out of tune. And 100%. I thought that was cool.
100%. Yeah. You definitely don't just double click the thing and make it perfectly on for every note. That's just going to ruin it or make it boring at least. But there's a lot of, you need to just listen, and a lot of notes will sound better a little flat, and it'll sound like you actually performed it more just off. So I just kind of try not to look at the lines.
Yeah.
You just hear it.
Yeah. You said at some point, either on recording or off recording, whenever we spoke about it, that you don't, like, you're not aiming for a specific number. You turn the knob until you feel the thing. Can you expand on that?
Yes. So as I said, every step of the process, every person working on the song should be thinking about the song and the story and whatever. Nothing should be purely technical because we're making art. So who cares? Like, we're not making something that needs to be perfect, and no one's going to connect with it if it's perfect. That's what I said last time. I said, if you, as a mixer or even as an artist or someone who's working with a mixer, if you're viewing mixing or any process, but if you're viewing something as purely a technical thing, and you just have to make it sound good enough so that it sounds professional or legit or whatever. I said last time, which maybe after I was like, that maybe is a little strong, but I said it's a beginner's way of looking at it. Because when you are starting out, it is hard to get something that sounds good enough or professional or whatever, and like sounds as good as something on the radio. So that is actually a goal for a long time, is learning how to make it sound good enough that if you show it to a family member that knows nothing, they hear that and they go, yeah, this is just, I wouldn't know anything different other than this is a professionally recorded song. And if I heard this on the radio and I didn't know it was you, then I wouldn't question. But that is the baseline. That's like the bare minimum of what you should be shooting for. Because at a certain point, when you get good enough, then it's a given. Every song is going to sound good enough. Every song should sound if you're doing your job, and that is if it's my job to mix songs. There can't be one song that someone hires me to do that doesn't sound professional, because then what? Then I'm not doing anything. So, but it's the bare minimum that it should sound professional and legitimate and whatever. But then you realize that that is not a reason for anyone to listen to a song. A normal person, again, if you pick a family member, some aunt or grandma that you're going to show your song to, if they hear it and go, wow, this sounds professional, does that mean they're going to like put it on the next day and the next day and keep wanting to listen to it? No, because every song that you hear should sound professional.
My grandma would.
But that's because she knows it's you and she's supportive and that's fun.
My grandma's sorry, tangent. My nonna's favorite thing that I've done is during the pandemic I was making a lot of covers and learning and trying to record things, and I would put them on YouTube. There's this one thing I recorded that was my keyboard through like direct input, so it was literally just like the audio through a direct input, because I didn't know what MIDI was at that point. And then I recorded 2 flute things over top, and I was using Adobe Audition. Wow. It wasn't even a real DAW yet. Yeah. And I
did that too.
When I
used Audition.
High five. When I listened back, I'm like, I'm not disappointed in it, because I'm like, you know, it's cool that you learned a lot since then, but it doesn't sound, it's, you know, it's like like an early thing that you've made. And she's always calls me and she's always like, I listen to that.
She still has it?
I listen to it every day.
Does she have a way to find new stuff?
Yeah. And she still listens to that one from 2021.
Great. That's awesome.
It's so funny though, because I'm like, no, I've made so many other things that sound so much better than that.
Yeah, I don't know, something, she connects with that one, because it was like the start and there was creative energy in it. And there was
shout out to Mirabelle, because it was her song that I covered. So I think it was just I chose a good song to cover.
I don't think my nonna understands like tech enough to be able to find things that I do.
Otherwise, I'd never. Of the reason. I think that's part of the reason she has that one video.
Yeah.
Maybe she knows how to search for things, but I think it's like give or take, you know.
Yeah, my nonna's not like on Instagram seeing new stuff that I post. Otherwise, she'd be talking about it nonstop. Yeah.
So maybe not family.
Yeah, so not family. Family's going to listen to your thing no matter what. So
maybe some random person on the street.
Person that hears a song. If a random person hears a new song and it sounds professional, all that's going to do is let them not immediately turn it off. Yeah. If it sounds bad, then okay, there's something to make them actually turn it off. But if it sounds good enough, then great. Okay, it sounds good enough. But if they're not going to connect with the song, if it's not a story they're connecting with, there's no reason to listen to it again.
Yeah.
So if you're a mixer thinking that's what your job is, then you're only doing the bare minimum. If you're hiring a mixer thinking that's what their job is, you're only asking them for the bare minimum. There's so much more that we can do to continue telling the story, to continue thinking about how can I make this song connect with someone even more, because that's what's actually going to make them want to listen to it.
You know what's funny? It's funny how like when people teach about mixing, it's like you're obviously just like starting out with that like bare minimum of this is how you use the tools. And like there's not a lot of emphasis put on how you can use those creatively at the beginning. And like I'm in my beginning stages, so maybe that's all I was exposed to.
It's much easier to teach the tech stuff, and it's also more grabby to get views on YouTube and tutorials and stuff when you can show a technical thing that's like a trick, and it's easier to take that and utilize it right away and feel like you learned something. So it's all on both sides easier to just focus on the tech thing. It's really hard to make an interesting video that's like all philosophy of like, I'm not going to tell you what to do at all. We maybe could do a whole conversation without Pro Tools open at all and just talk about why to do things. It's going to be very hard to take something from that and go like, wow, I learned a new trick and I can easily just do it in my next song.
Yeah,
it takes
like trial and error.
A long time, and it takes like finding your own approach, and like what makes sense to you and how you can then use that to interact with your artists and what those artists are going to respond to. And like every one of those relationships is different. And so it's just like, it'd be an insane video to try to make a tutorial of like how to think about music, because like who's to tell you how anyways. It's just, it would be a video just telling you do have to think. It's like you have to think about,
you have to use your brain,
how the music feels. So yeah, that's why you don't like hear about it as often.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when you were talking about when we had like the first meeting or like one of the first chats about my EP and how you were talking about your approach to mixing. It was very exciting for me because I like to yap about my songs. But it was like, yeah, it seemed like a very like kind of back and forth kind of process that was more than just me getting a mix and typing some notes of like this instrument's too loud or this needs more reverb or something, you know?
Yeah, I what I've been trying to combat for years when I'm working with people is, for one, the assumption that like they've made the art already and all the creative stuff is done, and so they just have to like send it to me to make it sound good and then it's back. And then that makes the process of continuing to work on your song, it's not done yet, it's not released, no one's heard it. You're still, you need to be like invested in it and excited about it and like still emotionally feeling all those things, because otherwise like why? That sucks that you wouldn't be. But
I always cry when I get the first mistake.
Yeah. If that can happen, if you can hear your song mixed for the first time and it makes you feel something so much that you cry.
No, like crying in a bad way. Like I'll get it and I'll cry because it sounds different and it's like not quite right.
Well, that's bad.
It's not quite right, and then I leave all my notes and then we get it to a point where it's like where it's needs to be. But you know,
I haven't mixed a song with you yet, so that's why.
I'll let you know if I cry.
That's why. Hopefully, after I mix something, you're gonna cry in a good way. Because that I've had great reactions from people and like the nicest texts of like, or people that just like go out of their way to not even tell me anything yet, but just post it on their story that like they just got a mix and they're crying because it's amazing and they are like connecting to their song more than they did before. So that's what I was saying. If that's possible, then yes, we're still making the thing that can connect with people further. If like the artists themselves with their song they've heard a million times connects with their song even further after they hear the first mix, then 100% that can be done for other people, like just random people who are hearing it for the first time. That means there's so much more we can do from where we were at and where we can get to make this thing connect with people even further. Yeah. And hopefully make those people cry in a good way and make them really hear your story and feel it. What was I saying? Oh yeah. I never got to the second thing I was combating. The two things I'm combating is, one, the art is done and we're just doing the technical thing. Two is that the pressure that artists feel to wear every hat and like know about every single process their song needs to go through, like deeply know about it to the point where you feel like you have to write a note that says this instrument is too loud instead of writing the note saying my song doesn't feel like it was supposed to. And this is why. This is what I'm not feeling when I hear the song. This is the parts of the story that I'm not getting. Like, that should be, you are the storyteller and you're the artist. And so you should be able to just think about the storytelling. And if you put yourself in the listener's shoes, am I connecting with me as the artist? Am I feeling like I'm getting across and my story's being told and all those things? And the fact that you feel like you have to speak in my language is that's the huge problem and the reason for the name and all these things that I'm focusing on. The whole thing is being a translator, speaking in your language. I'm going out of my way to be able to speak both languages. I speak storytelling, so I can talk to you about the story and the song, and then I speak tech or sound or whatever, and I can do that and completely hide it from you if you don't need to know that at all. You don't need to think about it. We can talk about your song and how it should feel, and then I'm going to go behind closed doors and figure out what knobs I need to turn to make the story happen properly. So the name came from Rosetta Stone. I can be the Rosetta Stone between your story and your ideas and then what's going to come into your speakers and how that actually comes across to other people.
Oh, sorry. I was saying I'm still probably going to tell you to make instruments louder and softer.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. If you feel like it. If you feel like it. But also that's because you have done a little bit to know some things. And I don't want you to not do that. If people do know a little bit and they're interested, then that's a good thing. But there shouldn't be a pressure.
It's like the volume of stuff is like an arrangement. Like if you're a conductor of an orchestra. Yeah. That's like where I come like at it, like from that perspective. Like even like for my vocal stacks and everything, I'm so specific about like what harmony is heard when.
Yeah. 100%.
It's like part of the arrangement.
Yeah.
But then also like I like knowing that it's funny because like I like knowing why. That's something that I do ask why for mixing, cuz like if I make a comment and like it can't be done for whatever reason or it like doesn't make sense to do and they tell me why and I'm just like, yeah, okay. If I know the reasoning and then I can get behind it, then like that's fine and that's
Is it
good.
still kind of frustrating?
And then I learn something.
Because you're basically just being told no.
Yeah.
I try not to do that. Anytime I come across something like that.
If it makes sense, then yeah. I don't know.
I try to never like just straight up say no and here's why you're wrong. It's always like, because nothing is wrong. And if even if I think maybe that's a bad idea, it doesn't mean it's wrong for the song because you might think something different. And so that's always an opportunity to figure out if we're on the same page and talk about the goal. Yeah. Because if I think that's wrong for the goal, then we should talk about, do we have the same understanding of what the goal is? And so if this is wrong for the goal, then we're agreed that it's wrong. If not, then maybe it is right and I was hearing it differently and maybe we can adjust and talk about it. So anytime that I come across that, I try to put it forth as like an either or an option of like, okay, we can do that. This is what it's going to do. Here's how it might feel this way if we do that. And maybe this is the other option.
That's cool. Yeah, I think like having the goal is like, that's cool because then it's Like, because the goal is always the story, right? Or maybe not. But I feel like most times would be the story. Or, like, having an understanding of what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and using the word story this whole time doesn't have to be, like, so specific to, like, specific genres that are very storytelling. And we're not
the
just...
story could be, I'm having a great time.
Yeah. It's just about... All music makes you feel something, no matter what it is. And when you're making it, you have a feeling in mind that you want to make people feel or whatever. So that story, can be just club music. But that story is, I want to make people feel like they can't help but dance when the DJ plays this. And I want the DJ to feel like he absolutely needs to play this tonight, or else people will... Like, he can bring the house down if he plays this song. Mm-hmm. Like, if that's the story, then that's the story. So that's the goal. And then everything we do in that song is thinking about people dancing on the dance floor. And so if we think we should do this, will that make people dance more on the dance floor? Mm. And that's the same no matter what that goal is.
Yeah.
If it's, I want people to cry in bed with their headphones on. If it's, I want people, whatever it is.
Yeah. That's exciting. That's exciting. Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have learned a little bit of production and do it yourself a little bit and record your own demos. Whether that started out of necessity or not. Do you enjoy that you can do it? And you don't feel pressured that you had to, and that's frustrating. You want to be able to, like, just stop.
I love it.
Yeah, that's great.
I love it, and I want to do it. Like, now I'm at the point where I'm like, even if, let's say I had the option to like work with a producer and just hand everything to them, like, I don't see myself not producing everything I make from now on. Like, if I'm working with a producer, it's like always going to be a co-producer situation.
Yeah, it's for collaboration. It's for new ideas. Yeah. But still having your own.
Yeah.
And also that should be a thing always anyways. Even if you're not a producer, you're not co-producing, you hire someone for what they bring, but then you're still running the show.
Yeah.
And you're able to guide. Mm-hmm. And everything is run by your taste and your goals. But that's cool. I like that if you enjoy it, then
I've always enjoyed it. Like, I found I was for one of the songs that I'm making, the intro and outro has audio of my little cousins and like children sounds, because that's kind of what the song's about. And I was like, okay, like I want more, to just like have more layers of sounds in that part. So let me see if I can like find some audio from when I was from like our home videos and stuff.
Cool.
So I went looking, and we didn't, like, the drive that I had, there wasn't like a lot there, but there was Christmas 2015, and I found the video where I got my interface that we're recording on now for Christmas, and like my face when I saw, like, I was in shock and I was so happy. How old was I? I was 15 ish. And it took me another like 5 years to actually start using it, because I didn't know what a driver was, and so I like every time I try to like plug it in and use it, it just didn't work.
You have a Mac now. That wouldn't even be a thing. You just plug it in and it goes.
Oh yeah.
There's no drivers. Drivers are basically not a thing in Mac, but that's so cute.
Yeah.
And that's going in a song.
I don't know if I don't think I put, because I wasn't saying anything.
Yeah.
And also like my entire childhood, because I have so many siblings, like every home video there's all the screaming in the background, so I chose the best. I chose the best screams.
Yeah.
There's like, you'll hear, but there's like leading into the part where it like builds up a bit. On one side there's like doing the counting for the, like, are you 4? Are you 5? And then there's like another, I think there's just like, happy birthday.
Wow. I love that.
So
I love when songs do that, because it's just like, it's such a shortcut to just making me feel something.
Yeah.
Because you can,
oh my gosh.
you can do it without, I don't even need to be able to understand what's in it. If it just sounds like a home movie,
Yeah.
which is, it's going to be harder going forward. Now, people's home videos from when they were a kid are like iPhone recordings, and they sound good. Like, it's
I want to tell you. I want to show you.
Okay. I was going to say it's more nostalgic when, like, okay, if I find something from my childhood, it's on VHS. It immediately sounds like that, and I don't need to know anything about what they're saying. Just immediately just has that feeling.
Yeah. And
it's just a easy shortcut.
Mm.
Not that that's bad. It's a good thing, because I love when songs do it. There's
let's make a music video like that, but my siblings don't want their face on it.
Right,
so
sure.
I have to pick the ones without.
And it'd be creepy if you did it with blurring all your siblings' faces out. Then it's like, okay, what? I would start to read into what happened to the rest of your family. There's a really, we did a song with, have you met Sienna? No, she has a song on her album where the recording of her wedding with her husband is in there at like the end of the bridge. It seems like the end of the bridge is like the time to do this. Because there's another one that I did with Catherine Fisher on her album. Same exact time. Like the whole bridge is home videos of her like grandmother.
There's an Emily James song where it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, let me tell you this.
Go.
Okay. So the song is about your relationship with the past versions of yourself.
Cool.
And learning to love all parts of yourself and all parts of you that existed. Mm-hmm. I found on that same Christmas, 2015, I found a video of me holding the camera and filming my sister, and you can hear me say to my sister, "Say hi to your future self." And so I grabbed that audio and put it at the end.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think like really, really quietly, there was another sound bite of my brother going, "We're gonna watch this in the future."
Wow. When people do that in the moment, you're like, that's so cliche. Shut up.
I was 15.
But then the fact that it's like, now looking back on it, it's like, wow, that's so sick that they said that.
Yeah.
They knew, and it actually ended up being
it's in the song.
Very cool and useful and whatever.
Yeah.
But like when you're in the moment, someone is like, come on, relax.
We were kids.
But yeah, that's cool. That it actually ended up being that moment, and then you watch it
like,
and you're like,
fits
wow.
So it clicks with the song so well.
That'd be trippy just to be watching it now.
Yeah.
And then you forget that they said that. And you're like, oh, God.
How old was she?
They're talking about me.
She was 6.
What?
So my sister was 6 at that time.
And she said that?
I said that to her.
Oh, you said it.
So I said, say hi to your future self. And she's like, who's my future self?
Yeah. You're too young to even understand the concept of the fact that you will be older and bigger. And also the fact that all of the older, bigger people around you at one point were your size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to make some master of this project. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully.
Wow, 2015.
Maybe if it's not a good time, we'll go back on the podcast and I'll just roast you for an hour.
Yeah. And then I'll roast you because it's not going to be my fault. 2015, I was in my between first and second year of college.
Nice.
That's crazy. We haven't
high school.
we haven't compared our ages yet.
I think we have. Because we were talking about the 90s.
Right.
You were talking about the 90s.
I just said my home videos are VHS, and you're talking about one that's wherever you found that.
The Canon digital camera.
Yeah, even that's retro now, of just like dedicated cameras.
Yeah.
Although people are getting back to it.
I had Blue's Clues on VHS. And we had a lot of Blue's Clues on VHS.
Love Blue's Clues.
And then there was this little TV. Once we had our like big box TV for a really long time. And then eventually we got, I think when I was in high school, we got the whatever flat screen that everyone uses now. But we still had this little tiny box TV in the basement that would play VHS.
Yeah.
And then we had this like treadmill that didn't work. So we would sit on the treadmill that didn't work like it was a couch and watch the
Nice.
VHS sometimes.
Yeah. Did you keep it? The CRT?
I don't know.
Because people
I
are
don't
like
know where
selling
it
them for crazy
is.
money now because
Yeah, I don't know where.
people want them. For like retro video games, people are like buying up all the old CRTs because like they don't look right on modern TVs, and that's how they, yeah. I
My
know.
friend made a couple of music videos that like had that
be
kind
cool.
of look, and so they would make the music video, then play it on the
Right,
TV,
and
then
just film
the
that.
TV.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've seen Instagram videos of someone who somehow hooked up his CRT to like be able to plug in like HDMI to it. And then they just have their computer and they're like working on Logic on like this tiny little like horrible looking CRT. But it looks sick for like his videos and his content. He's like showing off something that he made and it's on like a CRT, but it's like just the Logic timeline. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like nostalgic now. What else should we talk about?
Last time we did this,
It was 2 hours.
yeah, but we like said we were going to end it like a bunch of times and then got into another thing and it kept happening.
Yeah, but those are the best conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty much all of my conversations with people I don't talk to frequently. We have to purposely say, we have to stop. Like,
Yeah.
I have to do something or I have to go somewhere, or like we have to stop. And it's always in the middle of something and it's always like not satisfying. But then that's good because there's motivation to like keep talking
Yeah.
and like text after and set up something the next conversation because it's like we had to stop in between in the middle of something interesting.
Yeah.
So like now how do we keep going? That's good. It's a good idea. Always end your conversations in the middle of something.
Always leave them wanting more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. You don't want to end and be like, well, that's about as much as we can communicate. Yeah. So, all right, we can end it here and I never have to talk to you again.
Said everything that needs to be said.
Yeah.
I want to ask you one more thing. Can you talk a little bit about the kind of like technical, like what you do or like how you might approach starting a mix?
Sure. And this is going to be the annoying part because every time I try to talk technical, it ends up being philosophy again. And when people try to ask me questions to like learn, they're like, how do I do this? And then I end up telling them like, okay, well, think about it this way. And they're like, God.
It's like, oh man, I have to use my brain.
Yeah. No easy. There's nothing that I'm going to give you that's like, here's the trick of how to do this every time.
But that's art.
Exactly.
That's just art.
That's why, because
It's the fun
like,
part.
if you ask a painter, like, how do you start a painting? Like, what do you mean? It's different every single time. It depends on what the motivation is. It depends on inspiration. If I want it, feel like doing it a different way because that's just new. But there are things that that are stable, that are like routine, because if I can offload those and those are routine, then I can just think about what actually is different about this song. So I'm not often like forcing novelty to just make it fun, because that's actually a distraction. A new song every time is what makes it fun and different. I'm not like, oh, I need to find a new plugin because I'm bored with mixing, because then I'm thinking about the plugin and not the song. So I think that's why I love doing this, because there's some things that are steady and repetitive, which means I'm used to it and uncomfortable. But then the actual challenge is different every time, and new problems and new problem solving and whatever, because every song is totally different. But what do you want to know? Like,
I want to know about, okay, wait. I have to give you the backstory now.
yes. Oh yeah, if there's a reason. What have I been saying this whole time? Give me the reason of why you want to know this thing.
A lot of people have different opinions on reverb. I myself am a reverb whore, and I love.
Crazy way to put it.
It's with a W. Is there any other way?
That's the word. What do you mean?
Wait. Okay. Wait, yeah, no, that's how you spell it.
Yeah. That's how you spell it.
Damn.
Okay. You
Wait,
really
let
like
me-
reverb.
I really like reverb. Yes, so I really like reverb.
Yes.
But I also I've talked to people who try to like add as little reverb as possible, instead try to like make the same sort of effect with delay, which is a cool way to do it. Lots of different opinions about reverb. I think sometimes I use too much, and I can feel it like kind of getting in the way,
Sure.
which is valid. Something cool that happened when we were producing my song was we were in the editing stage, and we were like working on my song Easy Target, and we took out or like lowered the volume of the background vocals for the first chorus, and we were like, okay, like kind of needs something. Just like the one vocal needs something. And he's like, okay, let me add some like reverb throw. So he like put a lot of reverb, and I was like, my brain exploded, because the demo that existed before the demo that you guys received, I think what I did was I reverbed the hell out of the main vocal, bounced that, and then had it in the background. So like it was basically what he did.
Yeah.
And but then at that time last year or whatever, I was in conversation with a lot of people who were like, "There's too much reverb."
Right. So you thought you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah,
You took it off.
Yeah, and then he did it, and it wasn't
Of course.
like, and it was like I was like, whoa! I didn't even say anything, and like that's what was like the original OG idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just wondering, I don't know what my question is, but just speak
On that vibe.
Yeah.
Okay. First technical, and then I'll go to the other stuff. But quickly technical stuff, like people that say if they're trying to do it with delay instead, sometimes the reason to do that is reverb is like very dense, in that it's like taking the thing and then like throwing it through like every frequency. And it's different reverbs are less dense and more dense or whatever, but it's always going to be more dense and take up more like just space in a mix than a delay. So it's great if there's enough space for it, but like if the mix is already really dense, the arrangement, if it's like a rock track and everything's huge and really forward or something like that, sometimes there's just not going to be space. But you can get the feeling of space on the vocal or whatever it is with a delay, without it needing to take up so much room and cover up other things with a delay sometimes. And especially if it is like a really dense, packed mix, you do it with a delay and you can't even hear that it's a delay, because there's just so much stuff that you can't even pick it.
How fast would you make your, like, in terms of the delay
depends.
speed? Like, if it's a dense mix, would you use like a fast delay that almost like sounds like reverb, or would you do something like slower that sounds more like a delay? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think both can work in different contexts, and it also depends on like if you're trying to make it like a smaller space or like a really long lasting thing. But yeah, that can work sometimes, where like if you try to do it with reverb, it's just like it's covering up other stuff or I'm just really fighting it. But also like carving up the reverb return is very useful. Like, I don't know if I ever leave a reverb just like full as it sounded. Like, I'm always like putting an EQ after it and taking away things I don't want, or that's covering up other things, or like, and just that way I can actually fit it in to the mix in this where there is space. and like not have things I don't want from it. I don't want like the really splashy from every S. So sometimes I'll like de-S before the reverb and all these different things. You can just make sure you're not like, you don't have to deal with however it sounds and try to work your track around it. Yeah. But then I don't think it's standard to think of like people think of like, these are my instruments and then these are my effects. And then like, I'm allowed to do different things to these effects tracks because they're different for some reason. I just think of them like any other track. So if I'm allowed to put an EQ and really carve up this guitar, I'm allowed to do it for the reverb too. So whatever, just whatever's going to work. So that's the technical. The philosophy side of it, of like some people who don't like reverb or they're trying to use as little as possible or whatever. Again, it's like you're trying to make the thing feel a certain way, and there's different ways to do that in your style and whatever. So some people that are thinking, I want this to be really emotional and like feel vulnerable and whatever, some people would put really long, huge reverb on that thing because it makes the vocal feel alone in a big space. Like you were like singing in a huge empty stadium by yourself, which makes you feel small in the song and whatever. And if that fits with the story, great. Some other person could be thinking the exact same thing. I want to feel vulnerable and emotional and even alone and sad or whatever. And for them, that is absolutely no reverb at all, as dry as possible, because that way it's me telling you the story right into your ear, like being as vulnerable as possible, where you can hear all the detail of my voice and whatever. And then if you want that, putting on any little bit of reverb takes that away like immediately. All of a sudden, you don't have the like uncomfortable vulnerability that's there when it is really dry. You put like the tiniest little bit of reverb and it just removes that uncomfortableness. Sometimes you need, sometimes like I can't even put any because it immediately takes away that effect of me being right in your ear, and it just puts me in a room. Now I'm in front of you in the room. So just like the little bit of distance emotionally has changed what I'm feeling. So yeah, I think it's a style thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you feel when you hear this? And therefore that's the decision for when you want to say that thing. I feel like it's the same thing with anything that like we experience. If we experience other people and you really love to interact with people that are huge and loud and exciting and they laugh really loud and whatever, then you're like, I like that. So that's also what I want to be for other people. But if you see that really huge, loud, laughing, big and running around the room as like, this is too much for me, then you specifically don't want to do that to other people. So it's the same way in anything, like in our music, we're trying to communicate ourselves. So when you hear songs that make you feel the right thing, then you want to just turn around and do that to make your listeners feel that thing. Yeah. So yeah, it's style. It depends on what you listen to and what you like. And that affects your instincts of how do I make this feeling?
Cool. Yeah. I think it's like, it's so empowering, or I guess would be so, or I don't, wait, what am I trying to say? Talking about the song and the process in the, like the story, expressive language, it's probably really empowering to artists, like you were saying, because that's how they speak about their music. And then you feel like you don't have to switch your brain or like feel like what you're, I think like in the past, like before I was like got really into production, I would feel bad asking for things because the mix engineer is the expert and I don't know anything. So And they're obviously doing what they feel is right for the song. And because I don't have, like, I didn't have technical production knowledge at the time, or as a lot of technical knowledge, I'm like, if I say something is like not quite right, like what basis do I have for that, you know?
Yeah, but that's why that's on the person you're collaborating with to be able to communicate and make you feel comfortable with that. Because sure, I'm the expert on my job, but I'm not the expert on your song.
Yeah.
The only person that's an expert on your song is you.
I love everyone I've ever worked with. I'm just a very insecure person, or I was very insecure.
But that, I think that's
lots of love for my collaborators.
That's like it's not just you. Like that's what almost feels like a universal experience, because like it feels like it's not
it's like working with anyone outside your area of expertise.
It doesn't feel like it's standard to be okay with it, and then I notice when people are nervous. It feels standard for people to be starting where you were feeling, and I have to go out of my way, and I'm not that. I love to do that, and I want to do that, so I'm not like complaining. But I have to like take an active role in making the person feel comfortable telling me about their song and whatever. But yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm an expert at my job. The only person that's an expert on your song is you. Yeah. So and I can't do the thing without your knowledge on your song and your input.
Saying this doesn't feel quite right is a very valid reason. Yeah. Like it's very valid.
Yeah, and I think if that's all you have, it's valid enough by itself, because it just means it doesn't feel right yet. It shouldn't be then on you to like feel like you can't say that until you have a reason to explain it. It should be on me to be like, okay, all I need to know is that we're not done yet, because you can't lock it and we're done and I'm going to print it until you feel like it is right. So it's worth saying it doesn't feel right yet. And then it's my job to then start asking questions about like, okay, I got to figure out why. Like what are you not feeling yet? Like what emotion isn't quite coming across? Is it the whole song, or is there a part of a song that bothers you? Is there, I just start asking questions and then I can get you there. But that, I think it's very important for at least the way I work. And my approach is that you don't have to learn a new language to be able to speak to me about your thing. Yeah. Like it's your thing, and you can use your words, and then I'm figuring it out. And if even if that's me helping you figure it out, if I can ask you questions to guide you towards even your further understanding of your song, it's all great. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good place to end, honestly.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool. I'm going to read the outro now.
Thank you, anyone who has listened this far.
Everyone's going to be listening to this far, because the episode's just so good.
Okay. Riveting conversation.
Riveting. Hi, this is Emma from the future. I am editing this podcast episode right now, and I realized that I forgot to ask Luke the 2 questions that I ask every single guest at the end of the episode. Luckily, he did answer those questions the first time we recorded this interview. As you know, we recorded this episode 2 times because the first time we did not get video, unfortunately. I wanted to give those of you who are still listening a little treat, and so I've included the audio of those last 2 questions right here, and here they are. Enjoy the rest of the episode. Questions to finish off. First question is, do you have any advice that you would give to someone starting their journey? I'd love to hear advice specifically for someone wanting to do mixing and mastering.
Yeah. In and around what I've been talking about, I've said this to someone before that was asking me that like I said that like the first journey is the kind of a technical journey of like learning how to just make something sound okay. But like that technical stuff can just be your entire world because there's so much to learn and there's so much to worry about and things that don't come naturally to you. And so you can like stop making art completely and just worry about like, are all the numbers in the right place? And that kind of sucks. And you stop making it for like the right reasons. And then you'll go back and realize that like, first of all, you didn't have the skill to make it sound great. So the technical thing isn't going to be there. But then if you weren't even focusing on any of the art at all, and you were only focusing on the technical thing, then the only thing that you were doing was trying to make something sound good, and you didn't even have the skills to do that yet. There's nothing there. Mm-hmm. I think that we should be doing our things to make art and to be creative from the start. And you're going to be learning the technical stuff, but as long as you keep the goal of being creative and like making music, then even if technically there's things wrong in your early stuff, there will be like a feeling that you got that will be there. And there will be like actual redeeming qualities to those early songs, even if technically it's like weird, but like you made me feel something when I listened to it. And so like while you're learning all these technical things, make sure that they are relating back to the goal of why am I doing this? I'm doing this because like it's the right thing to do. No, I'm doing this because I want this to feel a certain way. So like, yeah, I think keep the creative, don't like not be creative until you get to the point where you can buy yourself the ability to be creative. Like have that from the start.
Yeah.
And like do all the wrong things at the beginning. Even if like before you even know they're wrong, as long as like you did it for a creative reason, then it's great.
Yeah.
I think that would be my big thing.
That's good advice.
Also, for anyone out there, if you're not a mixer, just anyone doing a creative thing and you have to be a freelancer and you have to be alone. You don't have to be completely alone. It's possible to like team up with people and people that are like frequent collaborators. You can make further relationships with those people. It doesn't have to be like, oh, this person hires me or I hire them all the time. And so then let's just keep doing that. Like you can team up and help each other in further ways and like have each other feel supported in the business. Like just, it's hard enough to like now you as a person is a business and you have to think about taxes and all these things, but like talk to your frequent collaborators about it and like see if you can help each other and team up and however far you want to go. If that ends up being like actually have a partnership and like legally and now you have a company together or whatever you want to do, like you can be your own boss for all the good reasons, but you don't have to struggle with all the hard stuff in it as well. You can be your own boss with other people in a partnership and like support each other.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it could feel so isolating. And again, like it could feel like you have to do everything yourself, but you really don't.
No.
You really don't. Yeah, and it's more fun when you can do things with other people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, the last question is, would you like to share a music recommendation for our audience?
Sure. I have a song in mind. I don't know if I'm late to this. I know it's a song that was a deluxe song on the deluxe album that was 2025. But I might still be like, it could have been like the beginning of the year or something. On Lizzie McAlpine's latest deluxe record. The song is called Pushing It Down and Praying. It is amazing. I don't know what to say about it. I think you just need to, have you heard it?
Yes, I can't audiate it in my head because it's been a while, but I think I remember it being really good.
That is a song where like definitively everything that's in there is telling the exact same story. And it's all like making you feel this very specific one thing. There's nothing that is not adding. There's nothing that's just there to be there. Everything is adding to it, but everything is also like very one-minded. It was worked on by a bunch of people. It wasn't like an artist that does everything, and so clearly it's going to come out of one brain. A bunch of people are on it, but it feels like it is just her telling this very intimate, personal story, and every instrument feels like an extension of her telling this story. It's very, very good.
Cool.
Yeah.
I always find like I don't know what to say after people say stuff, so I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, like
agree.
with a song recommendation, if you haven't heard it, then you're like, great, I'll check that out. I don't know what to say about it. If you have and you like remember it, you could be like, yeah, it's sick. But like, yeah, you got to listen to it.
What you were saying about like multiple people being on the song, I find sometimes even when there's just one person making the whole thing, like it's not a guarantee that it's gonna tell that singular story. I think like oftentimes when there are more people on a team, you have more people asking that question of what is it trying to say, and more accountability and
checking you and reminding you,
like
keeping you on track.
In my songwriting, sometimes I'll like start with something that or inspired by something that actually happened, but I'm not my mentality is like the facts don't all have to be true as long as the story is true. There's like truth in what you're trying to say. But sometimes I'll start writing something and then I'll kind of have an idea that comes in partway through and it changes the story a little bit. And sometimes I find it gets a little bit too off track and I end up there's almost like two different stories in the same song. But then when I co-write, I find there's more direction, and either like I'll be asking like what is the song really about, or like the other person will be asking that, and we can make sure we have that.
Yeah, and you have more ears that are giving you like a response.
Yeah.
Because like you can know in your mind what it's about, but it's hard to actually like hear if it really is saying that, because you already know. If you tell someone the story about your song before they hear it, then like, yeah, they're going to hear the story.
Yeah.
But if you just show them without telling them anything, then you're going to see what they actually hear from it. You can't even do that for yourself because you can't forget what it's about. So like you could just take it totally in the wrong direction and not know that it's not saying the thing. So it does help to have the other people where you could do something and they could be like, I'm not really hearing that as telling this story.
Yeah.
But when you do it yourself, you just got to like bounce it off people.
Yeah.
Don't like, make things without auditioning it for anyone. I find it's very important for me, even just mixing. I'll like show every song to my girlfriend. And if the artist has like told me what the song's about, I don't tell her and I just play it for her. And then sometimes people think that their lyric is very, very self-explanatory. And it should tell the whole story. And they've told me the whole story and I know all the details. And then I show it to Steph and she's like, okay, I like generally kind of feel what it's about, but like, it's more general than they thought.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell her the details of the story that the artist told me. And she goes, oh, I'm now way more interested in the song. But like, you're not going to be able to tell everyone the story before they hear it. So like, you have to find a way to get all that all of the interest, all the interesting nuance and details, like actually in the song.
Yeah.
Or else maybe people won't connect with it as much. But that's hard. Yeah, it's interesting that I just thought of like basically any story or song, you're never really just talking about things that happened. It's always about how you felt about it, your perspective on it, or like I just said that with my song. That is not about the words that I said or what happened. It's about why I said the words that I said and like how I feel about them, and all of that emotional context is really what the story is about.
Yeah.
I feel like isn't that just every it's every song, every story. People even without music at all will tell you a story and like embellish certain things to make sure you like feel you can heighten something because like that's supposed to. I was really excited about it. If I tell you about it normally, you won't feel that it's that exciting. So I gotta like really make sure you know that I'm excited.
Even music that claims to not have a story, it's like it still has a story. I think it does.
Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
What doesn't have a story?
Yeah. Even if you're just like dancing in. I was gonna say dancing at a club. I've never been to a club. Dancing alone in your room.
People are still saying something there.
Like
everyone is saying something always, whether it's out loud or it's implied.
Yeah.
But if people are dancing at the club, they're saying things to each other. Just like this, like eye contact and like that's all communication.
Yeah. Even just like how it like when a song makes you feel like jumping up and down or nodding, like when there was one like a song that I released where I was saying like throughout the process and like when people listen to my song, I want them to go like this. And that's what I want them to do, and people do that when they listen to it.
Yeah, even instrumental music is telling a story.
Yeah,
maybe it's
I think even more so.
Yeah, probably more so because you have to make up for the fact that I'm not spoon feeding you the story.
Yeah.
Now I have to like make it so emotional that you'll feel the things without being guided exactly what it is. So it's more likely that you'll come up with your own version of that story, but you're being guided with like exactly what to feel.
Yeah.
With lyrics, you can be like, feel these things, but also like feel these things about this.
Yeah.
Instrumentally, it's just like, just feel these things. I'm not going to tell you why. Maybe the title is like the only thing you get.
Yeah, I remember in school we'd have to compose something and they always wanted us to come up with a creative title. And I'm like, dude, you're telling me to write something that has write a piece that's 16 bars that uses 7 different chords in functional harmony. It's like what story am I going to tell with that?
Sum it all up into 1 or 2 words.
Like what?
That's the worst.
Yeah. We keep on ending the episode and then going down another rabbit hole.
Whatever.
And I think we should probably like I feel like this is a good time. Yeah, because I have to edit all of this afterwards.
If anyone's still here, thank you for listening this
If anyone's still here, send me a message and I'll send you back a heart emoji.
I'll give you back your time. Somehow.
They won't want their time back because they would have had such a good time.
Now just move this to like 10 minutes into the episode and make people think that like we're already surprised that they
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bedroom Studios Podcast. Don't forget to add this episode to your playlist and follow us at Bedroom Studios Podcast. You can follow Luke on social media and visit his website. All links can be found in the episode description. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. And put that in.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to make a compilation.
Of the high fives?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yay! We did it. Let's see if it recorded.
That was great.
All the video.
I feel like that was an even better conversation than the first one.
I think both were great. This podcast episode and its theme music was mixed by Luke Fair at Rosetta Sound.